Namaskar. I am Dr. Sapunti brings you the viewpoint. The world is large. Reports claim that the United States has launched a direct military operation against Venezuela, a sovereign nation, forcibly removing President Nicolas Maduro and his wife Celia Flores, and allegedly transferring them to New York. This is not just a regional crisis. This is a global shockwaves, raising serious questions about sovereignty, international law, and the future of world order. According to multiple international reports, US forces carried out a southern operation in Venezuela, resulting in the capture of President Nicolas Maduro and First Lady Celia Flores. The United States claimed the action was linked to charges of narco-terrorism, human rights abuses, and threats to regional security. However, critics argue this was a direct regime change operation, carried out without UN authorization and therefore a violation of international norms. Venezuela holds the largest proven oil reserves in the world. For decades, US sanctions and political pressure have targeted Venezuela's oil industry. Critics argue the operation serves US strategic and energy interests. It removes a government hostile to Washington. It sends a message to other defiant nations. Supporters of the US action argue Maduro was illegitimate. Venezuela had become a hub for organized crime, humanitarian suffering justified its intervention. But the question remains, does economic or strategic interest justify violating sovereignty? Under international law, especially the UN Charter, the use of force against another country is legal only in two cases. Firstly, self-defense against an armed attack. Secondly, authorization by the UN Security Council. In this case, Venezuela did not attack the US. No UN Security Council approval was granted. Legal experts warn this may qualify as violation of sovereignty, crime of aggression, dangerous precedent for global stability. If powerful nations can topple government unilaterally, what stops chaos? World reacted strongly. Russia strongly condemned the US action, calling it armed aggression and a blatant violation of international law. Moscow warned that such action undermined global security and could destabilize multiple regions. China issued one of its strongest statements, accusing the US of neo-imperial behavior and demanding immediate respect for Venezuela's sovereignty. Beijing warned this sets a dangerous example for powerful nations interfering in weaker states. India called for restraint, emphasized respect for sovereignty, and urged dialogue. New Delhi avoided taking sides, but clearly signaled concern over unilateral military action. The European Union expressed alarm, urging adherence to international law and warning that forceful regime change may worsen humanitarian suffering. Many Latin American nations condemned the intervention, recalling a painful history of foreign interference in the region. The United Nations Secretary General expressed deep concern, stating that dispute must be resolved through diplomacy, not force. However, the UN faces a harsh reality. The US is a permanent Security Council member. Any binding action can be vetoed. This raises a troubling question. Is the UN powerless when great powers break the rules? Reports suggest the deposed president and his wife may face trial in the United States on charges including drug trafficking and corruption as claimed by US President Donald Trump. Supporters call this justice. Opponents call it kidnapping of a sitting head of a state. Their fate will likely become a symbolic test case, not just of law but of power. Venezuela now faces uncertainty. Who governs next? Will election be held? Or will instability and violence increase? For the world, will global powers push back? Will the UN reform its authority? Or will this become another precedent where power overweights law? This crisis is not just about Venezuela, it is about the future of international law, sovereignty, and global order. If powerful nations act without consequence, is the world moving toward law or toward force? And that's all for now. Thank you.